Hi everyone, I'm Lisa and welcome to Lisa's Stamp Studio. My project today is a Halloween card and it's not spooky in the least. Wait till you see how cute she is. I'm going to teach you how to use some vellum to silhouette that ghost. I don't know who I got the original idea from. I saw it on Pinterest and there was no name. So if it's you, give me a shout out, or if you know, please let me know. I'd like to give kudos to the person I found the idea from. But using some designer series paper and giving you tips along the way. Remember that you can find pictures, cutting dimensions, and supplies over on my blog. If you're here from YouTube, the link will be down in the description below, making it easy for you to find. Remember, you can also buy all the supplies in my online store where I offer great exclusive rewards. You can find those details on my blog as well. Let's head over to the stamp table and let's get started.
Here's our little ghost card. Isn't she cute? And I say she because she's got a bow on her hair, right? Let me show you how to put the card together. We're going to start with a base of basic black cardstock, and I'm going to fold that in half. I'm a big fan of my bone folder for those nice crisp edges. Remember, you can find all the cutting dimensions for today's project over on my blog. If you're here from YouTube, you can click on the description below and the link will be right there for you. I've cut some designer series paper for this card. This all comes from the same suite of products. It's called Spooky Night Designer Series Paper. Really lots of fun and lots of varied images. And just a quick tip for you in case you didn't know this brand new cat punch actually punches out these designer series pieces on the paper, as well, of course, as the images in the coordinating stamp set. Those can be all found in the holiday catalog. If you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and you're interested in receiving a copy, just leave me a comment below. I'll be happy to send you one. So I've cut this to mimic the border for the card. I'm going to go ahead and add some adhesive to the back corners of this card. And you can see double-sided with Stampin' Up! That's the great thing about our designer series papers. This side, way more generic. You can use it all year round. So that's going to get mounted here on the front of the card. I've cut another piece of designer series paper. This is from that exact same packet, and that's going to go here near the bottom of the card. So I'm going to go ahead and add adhesive to this one as well. And I'm going to make sure that my paper is flush on the sides as well as on the bottom. I want to make sure that other layer doesn't show. All right, and then I've cut myself a small strip. Again, different pattern, same package of paper. I'm going to go ahead and add some adhesive to that strip as well. I'm going to get a little bit more on this side here, and then I'm going to mimic this right below the pattern piece I just placed. So it'll give me a little bit of a contrasting border. Okay, now the base of the card is done. The next thing I want to do is I want to die cut a shape to hold my ghost. I've got my Big Shot and my magnetic platform. I'm a big fan of this when I'm using framelits. Is it required? Absolutely not. Your Big Shot does come with a multi-purpose platform and of course a thin die adapter that will work equally as well. So I've got a clear mat for the bottom. I'm going to use a piece of basic black cardstock, and I'm using one of the frames from the Lots of Labels framelits. And I'm really having lots of fun with these because of the cascading sizes. Lots of use can be made out of these from small to large, and of course you can layer them very easily. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put another clear mat over the top, and then I'll crank this through to die cut it. So now we have our label. I have 5 strips of vellum cardstock here, and the first thing I'm going to do is I want to create a banner tip on these. The easiest way to do this is to stack them together, and we'll do them all at one time. So you're going to need a sharp pair of scissors. I've got my paper snips. I'm going to make a small slit up the center, and then I'm going to come from the outside edge to the top of my slit, and if they're slightly off, which means they don't match each other perfectly, it's okay because they're going to be fanned out. And then a little bit on this side. So now I've got all 5 of them done at the same time. 2 of these 5 pieces are going to make up the outside of my ghost. And just in case the ribbon shows, I'm going to round off the corners just by hand with my scissors, just a little bit so it looks finished. I'm going to do that on both of these pieces. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start from the outside in. Now we want to make sure that we leave enough room at the top for the bow. So I'm going to add a tiny bit of adhesive to the top. I mean tiny, because vellum is opaque and adhesive will show. I'm bringing in my silicone craft sheet because if I get any adhesive on there, it won't stick. So I'm going to put a little bit here at the top. And then I'm going to just mimic where I want these to land. So I'm going to put my first piece here. I'm going to flip that over and put a little bit on the back of this one. And I'm going to put this one here. And then I have the remaining pieces. So I'm just going to work and fill this in. So I'm going to do another one here. So I'm going to put a little bit more adhesive on this one here. And we're going to anchor this down just a little bit more when we're finished. So that gives us one here. I'm going to do one more next to it on the other side. That last piece is going to go in the center. So I'm going to add a little snail adhesive at the top. I've made several of these and no two are exactly alike. So I can see this one's a little bit more flared than my original one. This is a piece of that beautiful black shimmer ribbon. This is going to make a nice bow in her hair. So I'm going to go ahead and make myself a bow. Going to hold the knot in the center to hold the tension on this bow, and I'm going to adjust the loops and then pull. That's going to give me an opportunity to make the bow the size that I want without losing that tension here in the center. Grabbing my glue dots, and I'm going to put 2 on the back of this, 1 and 2, and then I'm going to position that near the top of her head. Okay, so now I've got my little ghost. I'm going to trim up the ends. And she'll look a little bit more lifelike. In just a second, we're going to add in a couple of these little wiggly eyes. I'm using a pickup tool made by Silhouette. Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell one yet. We keep hoping. It's got a gummy tip on the end, which will allow me to pick up that little piece without having to fight around for it. So I'm placing that right on top of that glue dot there, and another one here. And I'm going to use the opposite end of this, and I'm going to pick it up. So I've got my little eyes, and you can make them straight or crooked. I did mine a little bit off center, so I've got one here. And then I have my other one here. Give her a little bit of an expression. Okay, so now we've got that ghost piece. I'm going to come back to the base of my card, and I'm pulling out my dimensionals, and that's what I'm going to mount that label on. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4 to balance it out, compensate for that mail meter that it's going to go through, because we are going to mail our cards, right? Absolutely, that's why we create them. I'm going to take off that paper backing, and then I'm going to mount her right here in the center. All right, but I wanted to give her a greeting, and I didn't want to stamp and take away from that pretty vellum layer. So I pulled out that same designer paper. Look at all the words on here. So all I did was I found one that I liked. I'm going to go with the boo because it's nice and small. And then I am going to fussy cut around that. If you don't like to fussy cut, use a punch and come right around those words. And I'm going to leave some of that pumpkin color around it, so I'm not looking to make this a really close cut. I'm looking just to get the words out. All right, so now I have the word boo. I'm going to flip that over, and I'm going to use my mini dimensionals for this and my paper piercing tool. That's going to help me get them on that little small area. So I've got one of my mini dimensionals. I'm going to stick one here, and I'm going to put another one right next to it. I think it's going to fit well. Take off that paper backing to those little dimensionals. I love these. These fit on so many things that I never used to fit dimensionals on before. Then I'm going to put my little boo right down here at the bottom. Isn't she sweet? So cute. So here's the card we made today. Here's the card I made before you joined me. Do you see the difference between fanning out your vellum and leaving it closer together? Which one do you like better? I think I'm a favor of this one where they're narrower, but you know what? They're both cute. Go over and check out the pictures over on my blog. You'll find the link down below if you're here from YouTube. Thanks so much for joining me, everyone. I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day.